Cold processed soap made with Himalayan rhubarb extract is stunning, and you can use it to achieve natural soap colors ranging from warm oranges all the way to almost cherry red, almost a magenta tint sometimes as well. But although Himalayan rhubarb is really well known and used in the fiber dyeing community, it is still new to soap makers, and people are having a lot of challenges, namely making soap and the soap turning out orange rather than red. And so I'm going to share a really easy way to make red soap every time, and then we're going to talk about ways that we can ensure that other soap batches can remain red or maybe develop the red color in time. Hi, I'm Tanya from Lovely Greens, and I share natural soap recipes that you can make from the comfort of your kitchen. Please make sure to like this video and to subscribe, and then that way more soap recipes will pop up from me in your feed. Now let's get to making an easy Himalayan rhubarb soap recipe. I'm going to show you how to make Himalayan rhubarb soap, a vibrantly colored soap made by first infusing the dried root of rue mistral in olive oil. It's a vibrant yellow color when finished, and we'll use it as 50% of our base oils. Using the cold process method, the bright yellow of the oil will almost instantly turn to a deep, warm pink when emulsified with a lye solution. For this recipe, you will need pumice or light-colored olive oil. You will also need dried Himalayan rhubarb root, coconut oil, shea butter, castor oil, distilled water, and sodium hydroxide. If you wish to add fragrance, you can do so at trace, but please adhere to safe usage rates. There are several ways to make infused oil for soap making. The easiest is also the method that takes the longest. You measure 500 grams of light-colored olive oil and 8.5 grams of Himalayan rhubarb into a glass jar. Seal it, give it a shake, and set it in a warm but dark place. Over the course of a month, keep shaking it periodically, and by the end, you'll have an oil that's almost electric yellow. The quickest method is to use a stovetop double boiler. Place the oil in Himalayan rhubarb in a small stainless steel pan, then float it in a larger pan filled with simmering water. Reduce the heat to low and leave it to infuse for 2 to 3 hours. Never leave it unattended during this time, and stir or whisk it regularly. Whichever way that you use to make the infused oil, it will need to be carefully strained afterward. And that's because each particle of Himalayan rhubarb could leave speckles in your soap when it's finished. So I recommend allowing the oil to settle so that the sediment goes to the bottom of the jar, and then pouring it through a sieve lined with cheesecloth, then repeating the process and pouring it through fresh cheesecloth a second time. With the infused oil finished, it's time to make soap. So prepare your workstation and make sure to put on rubber gloves, eye protection, and an apron. You'll also want to carefully pre-measure all of your ingredients. The solid oils into a pan, the liquid oils into a jug, the water into a heat-proof jug, and you can put the lye in another container such as a glass jar or ramekin. This cold processed soap recipe requires high quality ingredients and that you work in a safe manner. That includes wearing gloves and goggles and ensuring that other people and animals do not come into contact with the lye solution or soap batter. For more details on soap making safety, visit lovelygreens.com. There's a link in the video text description. We'll begin by making the lye solution. In an airy place, such as by an open window or outdoors, pour the lye crystals into the distilled water and stir well. There'll be a lot of heat and steam, so try to be careful. Don't breathe it in, don't get it on your skin, and then leave it in a safe place such as a shallow basin of water or the sink to cool. Immediately after making the lye solution, start melting the solid oils. When there's only a little bit of oil left unmelted, take the pan off the heat and put it on a pot holder. You can stir it there and the rest of the oils will melt relatively quickly. It's at this point that we pour in the infused oil and castor oil. If you have them in the same jug, give it a good stir because castor oil can be quite sticky. But if they're in separate containers, make sure you scrape out every last drop that you can. At this point, measure the temperatures of both the lye solution and the pan of oils. You should aim to cool them both to about 110 degrees Fahrenheit, which is 43 degrees Celsius. They don't have to be bang on that number, but they should be within about 5 degrees of that on either side. When the temperatures are within that range, pour the lye solution into the pan of oils. I recommend pouring the liquid through a sieve to catch any potential undissolved lye. You're about to see the wonderful transformation of that pot of golden oils transforming into almost crimson. With the lye solution and the oils together in the pan, it is finally time to mix them together. So dip that immersion blender into the pan and with it turned off, stir the mixture together as if it was a spoon. Next, bring it to the center of the pan and hold it down to the bottom with both your hands and then blitz it for just a couple of seconds. The important thing here is to keep the immersion blender off while you're using it as a spoon and to hold it steady when it's on, and this will reduce any splattering. Repeat this mixing and then stirring until it thickens up to trace. And this is when the soap batter leaves a distinguishable trail on the surface if you drizzle a little bit on top, and the consistency will be like warm custard. Working quickly, pour the soap batter into the molds. I highly recommend using individual cavity molds if you want to ensure a good even color on the outsides of your bars. You could also use loaf or slab molds, but there's a higher chance of not getting as vibrant a red in the center of your slice bars. We'll chat a little bit about that at the end of the video and what you can do. For deep, beautiful color, make sure that your soap gels. You do this by keeping the soap warm and insulated after you pour it into the molds. There are a few ways to do it, but the most reliable way for me for small batches is to put the soap into an oven that's been pre-warmed to 170 Fahrenheit, 75 Celsius. Close the oven door, turn the oven off, and leave the soap to sit in overnight. The next day, put your gloves back on and pop the soap out of the molds. The color of Himalayan rhubarb soap will make you catch your breath. It is so vivid for a natural colorant. If you use loaf or slab molds, you want to cut them into bars that day too. The inside may not be as vivid as the outside, but this can improve over the curing process. Next, take those bars and space them out on greaseproof paper in an airy place. Leave them there for 4 to 6 weeks to cure. In my hands are fully cured rhubarb soaps, and they're all different colors. So let's go through what's going on with each of these. Now, the recipe we've just made is this one, and fully cured, it is a beautiful dark pink, almost a light cherry red, and it is that color all the way around. And it's that color for 2 main reasons. First of all, it was gelled, so I oven processed it. And also I used silicone cavity molds. And when you use cavity molds, it is so easy to create really consistent, dependable pink to dark pink to red Himalayan rhubarb soap. So if you want a stress-free version, use a cavity mold. And this one here, this next one, it's also made with a small cavity mold. Same recipe, but instead of gelling it, I just set it on the sides. And so you can see that the color is fairly consistent right the way around. It's a little bit darker on the inside face, and it's just a bit more muted. Now, it could be that you want to make Himalayan rhubarb soap, but you don't want to use cavity molds. It's not really what a larger scale soap maker would use when you're making lots of soap for customers. And so you might want to use slab molds or loaf molds. Well, this soap is made using the exact same recipe and poured into a small silicone loaf mold. I cut it the next day. So I typically wait about 2 days with my recipes to cut and then start curing. With this, I only waited 1 day because Himalayan rhubarb is sensitive to a lot of factors. One of them being oxygen. And oxygen can oxidize the Himalayan rhubarb and it can deepen the color. So lots of airflow as soon as you can do it. And even if the color isn't really this deep color initially, it can develop over the course of the curing process. Also, it seems that indirect light can also help deepen the color as well. And so you don't want a bright room, but you want a room that has indirect light when curing. Now, it could be that you make soap using a loaf mold, you cut it open, and the soap is this color. It's kind of a coral pink on the inside and pink on the outside, which is a different shade. If this happens to you, this is pretty normal with Himalayan rhubarb soap. And it may deepen over time and it may not. And it could be that you didn't use enough Himalayan rhubarb pigment when making the infused oil. It could be that the quality wasn't as good. So many different factors when it comes to naturally coloring soap. All I have to say is that I love this color. It is a beautiful effect and it looks very deliberate. So if this does happen to you, I would say don't sweat it, run with it. And I'm sure that your customers, family and friends, and even you will grow to like it. It is really, really pretty. Now, all of this talk about Himalayan rhubarb may have gotten some people thinking about the rhubarb that's growing in the garden right now. Is it possible to use garden rhubarb to make soap? Well, the answer is yes. And this is one that I've made using rhubarb from my garden, rhubarb root. And I found out a couple of years ago that yes, you can harvest the roots, dry them out, use them to make an infused oil, and it creates this really soft, feminine pink color soap. I cover how to use Himalayan rhubarb and also garden rhubarb in my new ebook, which is called Botanical Soapmaking Oil Infusions for Vibrant Natural Colors. So it has both of these colors and how to achieve them. And it's brand new. And if you would like a copy, I will leave a comment or a link in a comment down below and also in the video text description. And I go through quite a few different plants that you can use to create colored soap from green, pink, blue, purple, so many colors. And I only focus in on the ones that I know that are long lasting. And so yes, if you are into naturally coloring soap, especially with plants, then definitely check out my ebook. Also, if you want another video showing how to use oil infusions to create colored soap, I've got one for you that you can watch next. And in that one, we use elkanet root to create naturally purple soap. It is stunning. So thank you so much for watching this video, and I will see you in the next one. Bye for now.